So basically the answer is I'm not that creative. I'm creative within my own within my own language. I do find that technology makes it harder and harder for me when I get new libraries that are very complex. They have beautiful sounds. It takes me a lot longer to become facile with them. And it kind of makes me, because in the old days with Heroes 1, I could do a song within 1 or 2 days. Now, because there's so much technology and it gives me so much potential, it could take a month to do one song, just because I can add so much more to it. So I don't know that more is necessarily better, but it just means more. You know, that's what it's like. You guys work in this space, but now one day I give you a space that's 100 times the size of this space, and now you have to get 100 times more furniture, more technology. Does it make your work better? So it could make it better, but also parts sometimes you feel like, but I'm happy just where I was. I like using what I have like right now. So, but yeah, technology moves fast. And so in terms of technology, I always try to keep it in my mind, does it make the music sound more natural or more beautiful? And if it does, then I'm happy with that. Oh yes, oh yes. Lots of. I worked for almost 2 years on a game called Rift, Plains of Talara, I think it was called, and it was a game that was created by John Van Cannigan, who is the creator of Heroes of Might and Magic, and it was going to be a huge project. So he took his whole team. And I worked on a lot of environmental music. I never really did environmental music, which means there's no melody. It means that you use instruments and they sound like sound effects. And the kind of sound effects sound like the building is coming alive. And then all these sounds of the pipes and the wind and the electronic kind of come together, and then they do a melody, maybe a melody for like 10 seconds. Then they come together, and then the melodies go away, and it goes back into an environmental sound, which is very hard for me to do. But we did a lot of music for this game, and then John got fired. The company bought him out, and then he left the project, which means that we had to leave the project, which means all that music that we worked on for almost 2 years went away. So there's a lot of music, almost 2 years of music from that project that, yeah, it's not used, and it's somewhere out there. But that was hard for me because I was paid for the job. However, music, being paid is one thing. It was great because you get money and you spend it and use it. However, when you put in your heart and soul and your art and your everything in your culture into a project, and then now it disappears and nobody will ever see it. It's like having a child that now is locked away in a closet forever, that you can never take out and nobody will ever see that child. So that was a little hard. But it makes me feel like, when I read about actors or actresses who were part of a movie and they did a great scene and they thought they were going to win the Academy Award, and then the movie gets edited, and then they're not even in the movie anymore. They're on the cutting floor. So I know that happens a lot. So I was like, well, then that happens to me too. Oh, it is. Absolutely. It's like I'm shocked because in my lifetime, I grew up with no video games. Our entertainment was television, and then doing activities. I had a lot of activities when I was a kid: swimming, judo, gymnastics, tennis, piano, theory. I was very busy as a kid. My parents were always driving me around to do activities. Had there been computer games, I probably would have wanted to spend a few hours a day playing. So I feel like my personal life, I missed that boat, because by the time I was in college, I never didn't have any games or at all. My whole life was practicing, composing, going to school, exercising, or working. So I never really had the space for games, but I did see a lot of my friends and younger people have a certain amount of time dedicated to games every day. Almost like it's like a separate life, you know? And through all that, I see how people become familiar with music and gameplay. And so I'm very thankful for the culture, because there's a lot of people who know my music because they play the game every day, and they really know the music because they hear it every day. It's very different than my colleagues that I went to classical music school who also became composers. They became composers, classical composers, and they're very happy if maybe 1,000 people get to hear their music a year. Because you write an opera and some concert hall does it, but maybe 800 people saw it, and then that's it. Like there's no recording made, it's not a TV program, it's not a game, so it's a very limited amount of listeners. So as a basic composer, composer is somebody who writes music, and they part of the love of composing is that you want somebody to listen to your music in the same way that if I was a cook, I want somebody to eat my food. So there's a lot of cooks out there, or a lot of composers out there, that nobody is eating their food. And that's a basic. So I'm very grateful for the culture of games, because it allowed me to, as a composer, to have people who actually listen to my music. So I'm very thankful for that, because if I was making bread every day, I would really want people to eat the bread that I'm making, or eat the food that I'm cooking. And as a composer, I would want people to listen to the music that I'm composing. So it is, I do think it's a very new and very important part of the future culture. Almost everybody I know plays games, and they know music through games. Almost they know music through games more than they almost know it just through listening, on the radio or on the Spotify. It's like music has almost a bigger impact through games than it almost does through the old-fashioned just listening to music. I feel like games are the new way to listen to music, in a way. I never did. When I was 3, the first classical music I heard was the music of Chopin. And so I come from a Mexican family in a little town in California. So we were growing up listening to like Mexican music or Hispanic music. So one day my mother had a recording of Chopin, this Chopin Nocturne, and I was like, it was like a magical spell. And I just couldn't stop listening to this piece of music over and over and over again. And eventually I learned this is how I taught myself to play the piano, listening to the Chopin music. My parents had a piano, and I just learned how to duplicate this Chopin Nocturne. So because of that, I would begin to listen to more Chopin's music. So the music of Chopin and really Poland was like this magical spell that I was hearing on a record player, and it kind of took my life through this direction. So now, it's a funny thing, now I'm in Poland playing my music for the people whose my favorite composer comes from, Chopin. So it's a very beautiful thing. I was pulled to Poland through the music of early 19th century composer from Poland, and now in the 21st century, my music is still very influenced by his music. So it really is nice as an American composer to come to his country and to play my music for his people. It's a beautiful symmetry in a way. I would love to. I really do. I work very hard on the music that I compose, and I'm very proud of it. And it's not like because I'm proud of it because it was the best that I could do. At any project I do for a game or anything, I really try to make the best melody that I can do. So the nice thing about that is when I listen to my old melodies, I'm not embarrassed. I'm like, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that. I suffer no regret. So as a result, the melodies, particularly the vocal melodies from Heroes 2, Heroes 4, Heroes 5, I would like to one day turn this into like an opera or a musical where the singing part can be longer and tell a story, or maybe one of the stories that is part of the Heroes the Heroes game, and transfer that to an operatic audience or even musical theater like on Broadway. I don't know if that works for Broadway, but I know opera, because of Wagner and the Ring Cycle and Tristan and Isolde and all the Italian operas, I think there's a potential for those people who love opera to like a potential opera of Heroes of Might and Magic. So I would love, and I think because so many opera houses in Poland, Ukraine, Russia, different Hungary, different Eastern European countries, they all have opera houses, and all the singers are in their 30s and 40s, so they potentially might know the music already, and to actually have them have this ability to sing tunes from a game they might already know when they were growing up is very nice. So I've been talking to a lot of people about how to do this and how to do a storyline and what language. So that might be something I would love to do in the next 10 years, I think. And it's a good way for, I think, to take, the music is already classical music because I'm a classical musician, but it's still game music. To take what people think of as game music and take it into the opera house as legitimate classical music, but of a new era, you know, from the computer game culture. That would be really, really nice, and it would be a great way for classical musicians, classical opera singers can have material that's kind of their own time. Most of us classical musicians, we're playing music that's not from our time. I mean, I spend a lot of my time learning music from the 18th century, the 19th century, the 17th century, so it's like antique, really. So it's, how do we make classical music that's viable for today, and it's of today's culture? So for me, that would be nice, because I love opera, and I love stories, and I love melodies, and I just love the whole thing. So I think that Heroes could be a potential opera. Initially, I always want to be part of Heroes' legacy and continuation, and my former producer was working with the company, and he just felt he wanted to go into a different direction. So we finished. I wasn't going to be a part of it. But then I had a friend who knew somebody on the production team, and I kind of told him, so, you know what, I really do in some way want to be a part of this. So the company got a hold of me, and it's like, you know, if you want to be a part of this, why don't you just start creating some music, and we'll see, you know, if it works. So basically, that is where I'm at. So I am creating some new melodies and things, and if they like it and if it works, then I will be a part of it. And if they don't like it, that's fine. I am able to use it on other projects. So Uh, it's maybe yes, maybe no. we won't know. We won't know yet. I think so. I know the music of previous melodies will definitely be in the game. I would like to contribute a couple of new melodies, and so, you know, when you have when you're creating new things, you have to have you have to be vetted. It has to work. So I'm hoping whatever it is I'm doing will also work within the game, but I also know some of my old melodies will definitely be in the game. So maybe there'll be some of the new me, but it's definitely the old me. Behind the scene, gosh, is there behind the scene? Yes, yes, there are. During the making of Heroes 4, there was a beautiful Celtic library. For people who don't know what libraries are things that you buy that are basically pre-recorded music, and you're allowed to use parts of this music, and you put it on top of your own music to give it a flavor. So I can add mariachis, I can add Arabic sounds, I can add Celtic sounds, but this new Celtic library came out, we love the Celtic sound. So we just, and then the company was, okay, we had to have this music done like in 2 weeks. So we had a very hard time frame, and we were using a lot of this library to add to our music. But so was South Park, and so were a lot of TV shows and games all over the world were using the same library. So all these projects came out at the same time, and I got a lot of email that people thought that all these other projects were stealing my music. It's like, so I had to, like, literally thousands of letters. Oh, they're stealing your music. We're gonna go after that. So a lot of the Heroes fans became like police in different countries. They were gonna contact the writers organizations. They're gonna, whoever polices these kind of theft of intellectual property. So I had to explain to each person, we all bought this library. We're all using the same library. It's like if I design buildings, and my buildings are original designs, but I'm using the same windows that you're using, and you're also another designer. Are we stealing from each other? No, we found a good window company, and now we're using these windows from this company. So it's very hard for people to understand that. However, the company that created this library was sold to another man who doesn't realize that we still have the right to use that library. And this guy is, this crazy guy is going around the world trying to sue everybody. South Park, trying to sue me, trying to sue them, trying to sue the orchestras in Russia and Ukraine. So he's going crazy. So we're dealing with a madman out there who didn't understand the company that he bought people already have the right to use the product. So he's trying to run around and sue everybody and get everybody to give him more money. So that is almost all of us who have used that Celtic library are dealing with this same situation right now. So that's just the way it is. However, but this is a good thing for other composers. Be careful when you use libraries, especially libraries that have a very particular flavor, because in the future, it saves you time right now, but in the future, you might be dealing with copyright. It's not a copyright infringement, but copyright questions. So, because I did that music many, many years ago, but I'm still being asked about it, even if as of like last week. So it's coming, my saving a little bit of time, like a week of time. Now I'm having to still answer questions about it. So that's been my only little, and it wasn't a problem. It was just kind of funny that this keeps coming up. You know, people don't understand what libraries are. So that was my only little behind the scenes story. No, as a kid, I thought, oh, I'll be a composer and I'm going to write music and I'm going to write music for the stage and maybe people will like that music. But when I'm doing Heroes music, I really compose this as background music. I did the best to make it a beautiful background, but never I thought it was going to be something that would push forward and people would want to hear live. I was shocked. Like I'm still kind of shocked. It's like, because really, the way I wrote it, it really was going to be for a sonic background, and then it became more than that. So I'm beyond happy. I'm beyond grateful. You know, like it's as if it's as if you're a rug designer. You created that rug over there, and it was just supposed to be like for an office, make it smooth. But now, people want to talk about that rug, and they want you to duplicate it, and they want it in their house, and they want to examine how you made it. So it's a surprising and very beautiful thing for me. So the only thing I can say is that this is what I really did. Even though I thought it was going to be background music, I still did my best to make it as good as possible. So I never thought, oh, it's going to be background, so I'm not going to do a good job. I can't operate like that. So I'm very glad that I did my best, even though at the time I thought it would have never been examined and enjoyed like to this level. So I'm really grateful, like super grateful.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the great questions. I really enjoyed it.